Okay, let's dive right in. We're not just talking about leadership in the abstract. We're talking about what it actually takes to lead and win when complexity, pressure, and constant change are just the name of the game.
Here's a core truth to kick us off. In calm waters, sheer talent can often carry the day. It can mask a lot of underlying issues. But when the storm hits, when the pressure is really on, talent alone is never, ever enough. Something deeper gets tested.
We all love that heroic story of teams rising to the occasion, don't we? But the hard reality is, in high-stakes environments, that's largely a myth. When the heat is on, potential just becomes irrelevant.
Instead, they fall back to the level of their systems, their ingrained habits, their training, their collective standards. And this is the whole game, right here. Success isn't about hoping for heroic moments. It's about building an architecture that holds up under the inevitable stress of a complex world.
This brings us to what we call the performance paradox. And I bet you've seen this happen. You have a team that looks incredible on paper, just packed with A players, but when it really matters, they fall apart. So why? Why does this happen over and over again?
Well, the breakdown almost never comes from a lack of ambition or intelligence. No, it comes from these fundamental, often invisible cracks. A leader who can't consistently lead themselves, a team held together by fragile trust, a culture that just lacks that ruthless executional discipline, and maybe the biggest one of all, that huge gap between what leaders say they value and what they actually tolerate.
And this just nails it, because your culture is never about the mission statement you hang on the wall. It's defined every single day by the behaviors you permit. The lowest standard a leader is willing to walk past becomes the new ceiling for everyone else.
Okay, so if the problem is a fundamental systems failure, then the solution has to be a systems upgrade. We have to shift our thinking from leadership as some kind of innate personality trait to leadership as an intentionally engineered operating system.
And this is the DynastyDNA framework. Look, this is not another motivational speech or personality quiz. It's a practical, actionable system. It's designed to build high-performance cultures that are reliable and don't just survive pressure, but actually get stronger because of it.
Now, this visual here gets to the core philosophy. We're looking at three interconnected domains. And this is critical. This is not a linear path you follow from A to B to C. It's a dynamic, interdependent system. The strength of the whole thing relies completely on the strength of each part. So let's pop the hood and break down the architecture of this system into its three core pillars.
First up, we have champion identity. This is all about self-leadership. In short, who are you when the pressure's on? Second is champion influence. This is the world of relational leadership. How do you connect with people, build real trust, and empower others? And third, champion impact. This is all about executional leadership. How do you turn all that good intention into consistent, concrete results?
And this slide really drives home the interconnectedness. Think of it like a flywheel. A leader with a rock-solid identity but weak influence, well, their standards never leave their own desk. A leader with incredible influence who can't actually deliver results, that just builds a lot of excitement, not a dynasty. They absolutely have to work together.
So where does all of this actually begin? Well, it starts with the leader's own internal operating system, that foundational mindset that powers everything else they do.
Seriously, think about it. We've all seen both sides of this. Two leaders face the exact same crisis. One creates chaos, the other creates clarity. What's the real difference between them? It isn't their strategy, it isn't their talent, it's their internal state.
This slide shows that critical distinction perfectly. On one side, you've got mood-driven leadership. It's reactive, it's unpredictable. It makes teams feel like they're walking on eggshells. On the other side, you have identity-driven leadership. It's intentional, it's anchored, and it provides the stability and psychological safety that a team needs to perform at its best, because they know their leader is grounded in something real.
And you know what? This is something you can actually train. The Mindset Reset is a simple but incredibly powerful tool. When pressure hits, you just pause to interrupt that fight or flight reaction. Then you reframe the story you're telling yourself, and finally you recommit to the leader you intend to be before you respond. It's like a circuit breaker for reactivity.
So if mindset is the inner architecture, what are the visible behaviors that bring it all to life? That's where we find the operating code for this whole system, the 12 non-negotiables.
These are the 12 non-negotiables. And let's be crystal clear. These are not aspirational values you stick on a poster. They are observable behavioral standards that get rid of all the ambiguity. They're designed to protect the culture from that mood-driven leadership and make sure accountability is real, not just something we talk about. And here's the crucial point. You need all 12. This isn't a buffet where you pick and choose your favorites. These behaviors are all deeply interdependent. I mean, a leader who's courageous but has no emotional intelligence, they do more harm than good. A leader with a big vision who doesn't hold people accountable, they're just a dreamer. Any gap in this system creates a major vulnerability in your culture.
And this is the ultimate payoff. When your standards are negotiable, your culture is fragile. But when your standards are truly non-negotiable, your culture becomes resilient. It develops this toughness that allows the team to bend under enormous pressure without ever breaking.
And that brings us full circle. The DynastyDNA system, with its 3 pillars and its 12 non-negotiables, it's a complete leadership architecture. It's built from the ground up to move teams away from that fragile, talent-dependent performance and toward durable, standards-driven excellence.
So the final question I want to leave you with is this. When you really look at your own leadership or the leadership in your organization, is its success an accident of talent and good luck? Or is it the predictable result of an intentional, engineered system? The answer to that question will probably determine your future.